Before we get into decoy making techniques, I wanted to cover a little bit about materials and equipment that you'll need for decoy making. I'm coming at this from the perspective of being a power carver as opposed to all hand tools, chisels, gouges, knives. I do use some of those, but I also use power carving. Raw materials, Tupelo is what I use for most of my decoys. You can also use cedar as a popular tool for gunning decoys. This is high density cork that you can also use for the bodies of decoys. But again, I'm going to be focused on techniques around using Tupelo as the raw material. And then I use walnut for the keels. You can use oak.
Another key raw material are glass eyes, and I use Tohickon or Michael Braun eyes.
Other materials you need in decoy making, I use plastic wood, filler, or you can use Bondo, 5-minute epoxy or some sort of epoxy to glue the head to the body, a sealer, a wood sealer. I use Deft, and I use acetone along with the plastic wood for blending that plastic wood on things like neck joints. And then a variety of small hand tools, knives, gouges, calipers, measuring devices. So not a ton of equipment needed. You do need a good bandsaw that's going to be able to handle the width of a decoy. So this is a jet bandsaw and it has an extra deep throat here so that it can cut larger wood like this. Also need a good drill press. This one is a Delta. You don't have to have a belt sander, but it comes in handy for finishing the bottom of decoys and keels and things like that. And for power carving, I use a Foredom TX to do most of the heavy work, and then a power hand Marathon Guesswine for the detail work. I'm not selling these or get any commission for that. I'm just telling you what I use. And then a variety of bits for grinding wood. I always use a respirator, and I recommend that because that fine dust can really wreak havoc on your lungs. So that to me is critical, along with a good piece of dust collection equipment. I've got down here that draws dust away while I'm carving,
Along with a benchtop unit.
and it is attached to this Turbocone Powermatic dust collector. By no means an exhaustive list of equipment, but I just want to give you a quick overview of the types of equipment you'll need to carve decoys and the types of equipment that I use for that purpose.